And our next step is we're going to hear about tractor selection. One of the issues that we've run into is the demands required for selecting a tractor that can handle these giant aerators. So we've got some input here from Atlantic Tractor.
Hi, I'm Robert Lowry with Atlantic Tractor and John Deere, and I'm here to talk to you about tractor options and features you may want to consider when considering purchase of a tractor for aeration purposes for your turf fields or horse tracks. The first thing we want to consider is horsepower. Horsepower, you're going to be wanting to rate around 100 horsepower for the application, depending upon the size of the aerator. 8 to 10 foot in that 100 to 120 horsepower will be the horsepower that you're going to be looking for. In John Deere tractor models, our horsepower is indicated into the model number of the tractor. The model number sequence here you have, this is a 5 series tractor. The next 3 numbers is the engine horsepower. So this is a 5 series, 100 horsepower, and our letter indicates the spec level of the tractor. We have 3 different letters in this series of tractors that you could possibly see. We have a E series model, which is our entry model. Not a lot of options available in that tractor. Our M spec, which is our mid-level spec, and any tractor that indicates with an R is our high-level spec tractor. Lots of options, lots of features available in that tractor. So in that 100 horsepower, John Deere offers a lot of different models. There's a lot of horsepower overlap in that 100 horsepower. So we can have a 5 series, which you see here, this 5100R, which is a high-level, high-spec 100 horsepower tractor. You could even go to a larger series tractor, the 6 series, which we have 100, 105, 110 horsepower in that tractor series as well, along with the E, M, and R series spec tractors. For transmission options, creeper transmissions is a necessity for the aeration purposes that you're looking for. For a creeper transmission, we offer that in the M series tractors or the R series spec tractors. The creeper transmission is traditionally a gear drive. We also offer the IVT, which is infinitely variable transmission, and that's available in our 6M series tractors and our 6R series spec tractors. This is a seamless, no gear style transmission. It is hydrostatically driven and allows for infinite speeds all across from under 1 mile an hour, under probably 0.5 mile an hour, all the way up to 25 or even 30 mile an hour, depending upon the options that you get on the tractor. So the IVT would certainly be a nice option to consider when purchasing a tractor for this type of application. If you're looking to save a little bit of money, the creeper transmission, their traditional creeper transmission would be still a viable option. The next thing you want to consider is tire options. Most times you see tractors with the ag style or R1 series style tire, which is what you see here. This application is good for most ag use. It's also good for traditional horse tracks. So your dirt style tracks, this tire is what you'll see there. For the turf tracks that we're talking about, you want to consider what they consider an R3 tire, and that's a turf tire. Very similar, like a big balloon style tire, and you're going to want a fairly wide tire for no compaction and less damage to that turf. The 5 series and 6 series tractors are all capable of ordering with that option. One thing to consider, if you have multiple uses for that tractor, you could even keep 2 sets of tires and swap the tires between your turf applications and other needs around the horse track or the facilities that you have. As we move to the back of the tractor, there's a couple things to consider for options on your aerator. Aerators can come in a couple different configurations. You could have a standard drawbar pull, which this is the drawbar of the tractor. So drawbar pull is going to take a little bit, requirement, it will be a little bit smaller tractor, especially if you're considering a wider pull aerator. The other option will be our 3-point hitch. The 3-point hitch is what you see here. So you have 3 points of contact here, here, and here. And that will require a little bit larger tractor, especially if you consider, maybe a 10-foot aerator. The other thing to consider when you have that 3-point is that there's no wheels to transport it. So when you pick it up to move it from spot to spot throughout the facility, it's going to take some ballast on the front of the tractor. So you'd have to consider that when you're speccing out your tractor. The drawbar amount, like I said, typically requires a little bit less horsepower. It's easier to hook up. You can back up, drop your drawbar pin. If you have hydraulics for folding or any other thing, you've got the quick ports back here. If you go with the 3-point, they do have an optional quick hitch which would be available, or if you're just having the standard 3-point, a little bit extra time to take the hook head up, it would be needed. Like I said, for ballast, we have traditional wheel weights that would go in the back. For this type of application, you're probably not going to need much wheel weights in the rear of the tractor. But if you go with that 3-point, the weights would go up here on the front of the tractor, and that's just leverage. As you pick the 3-point up with the weight of the aerator, it creates a negative effect on the front end of the tractor, which we don't want the front wheels coming off the tractor, so off the ground. So we would want some weight up there to keep the tractor grounded. For options, that's really a lot of the options definitely to consider when purchasing or speccing out a tractor for an aeration type purpose. That horsepower, knowing your model numbers, the horsepower that you're going to need, the transmission options, creeper transmission or the IVT, then of course your tire options. Going with that R3 turf tire would be needed to keep the less impact and everything that you're wanting to avoid there on the turf track. Your John Deere dealer is well versed in knowing what needs you may need. So if you have any questions as far as what you need for the aerator, speccing out the tractor to accommodate your needs, your John Deere dealer is always well equipped to help you in finding the right solution there. Some things that John Deere offers that is a benefit. Of course, we offer annual maintenance plans. So for servicing the tractor, annual inspections where we would come out, check the tractor over, make sure it's in tip-top shape for that next season. We also offer extended warranties. If you're putting a lot of hours on a tractor, traditional warranty on this style tractor is 2 years or 2,000 hours. If you're going to be putting a lot more hours on there or want extra protection, if you're going to keep that tractor longer than 2 years, say, we can put extended warranties on the tractor to give you that added protection throughout the life cycle of the tractor. One thing that John Deere offers that is kind of unique is JD Link. JD Link is a telematics port that we have on our tractors. It's an option on some of these units, but it's also standard on some of them as well. But JD Link gives us the ability as a John Deere dealer to check the health of your tractor. It also can give you alerts of your tractor as well. So if the tractor's out on the track running, it has an issue, it will send an alert to your computer, to your phone, however you have it set up, to say, hey, the engine oil is low, or there's a sensor not working. So it gives you visibility as a manager of the operation to see what's happening. It also sends an alert to your local John Deere dealer. And hopefully we can prevent any issues before they become a major catastrophic issue. So that alert, that protection is a huge benefit for you. So that JD Link is a thing that I would definitely consider when purchasing a tractor. It also can give you visibility to see what the tractor's doing throughout the day. You know, hours are a huge thing on a tractor. It's just like miles on a car or a pickup truck. If you have where the tractor's sitting around and idling a lot, especially with the emissions we have on the tractors today, idling is not a good thing. So if we're not using the tractor, we want to make sure we can shut it off. But that JD Link gives you a way to view what the usage of that tractor is, so we can see actually when it's working or when it's just sitting around idling. So if there's a way to manage those hours and cut down on fuel cost, added wear and tear on the machine, or any potential emissions issues you may see because of idling, that JD Link would be a great resource there. That's all I have as far as the tractor portion here. Your John Deere dealer is always there to help you and guide you in any way. We really appreciate our partnership with the NTRA and being able to work with the horse tracks across the country and provide solutions to help everyone out. Hope everyone has a great day. Thank you.
This is Karen, and this is her land. She's been here a long time, along with Mojo. The first fence post went up here. Now there's 5,000 of them. After the storm, she started the cleanup here. And when she needs some peace and quiet, she always finds it right here. This is more than just land, it's home. Karen runs with us on a John Deere 3E Series tractor, because who says a day's work has to take all day? Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 3E Series for more.
Being a teenager and in high school and middle school is not easy for girls these days. And they get to come here, spend time working around the farm, spend time with the animals, and not feel that pressure until we go to horse shows. The first time I saw this land, I was about 12 years old. I came here with an old mentor. I fell in love with it as a little girl, and I said I was gonna own it one day. My mother, when I was 4 years old, put me on a little pony walking around the zoo. That was it for me. Love at first sight. Like any kid, when I was younger, I wanted to compete more in the Olympics and go Grand Prix and do things like that. But I put that all on the side and realized I had a different agenda in life. I've taught about 800 kids in this area. A typical day starts early in the morning with feeding the horses. Then usually we clean stalls. This is a daily chore, sometimes twice a day. I'm always on the tractor, mowing, spreading things around, you name it. This is a John Deere 3025P. I love my tractor. I couldn't live without it. I like to just relax and be left alone. I call it my husband. He's very reliable, and it doesn't argue. It's so easy to use. My 68-year-old mother has never driven anything like this before, and she was scared to death of it. And once she did, she loves it. She drives it all the time for me and helps me out around the farm. Being here in Florida, we deal with a lot of hurricanes, so it can be very stressful when we're in the path of one. That John Deere helps me so much. We go around picking up debris, moving, pushing things with the bucket. I always have an average of 50 students, so whenever there's a disaster that comes around, they're always here and they're ready to work. I call all my girls my kids. They're like part of my family, and they get scholarships for riding, and so we try to keep our sport here a little bit serious but fun. We go to the horse shows. It's great for them. Good, very nice. Teaches them a lot of sportsmanship, how to be more in charge and have more self-confidence. A little stronger on that. There. The parents tell me all the time, you are such a huge influence in our child's life. I love to share my experience with these girls and be able to steer them in a better path. Everybody always asks me, how do you keep doing this? I say, just the sheer passion of it. What am I gonna do? Get a condo on the beach somewhere? I'm happier here. I'm Karen Neese, and this is my land.